This is a great white, Larry. A big one. And any shark expert in the world will tell you it's a killer. It's a man-eater.
Look, the situation is that apparently a great white shark has staked a claim in the waters off Amity Island. And he is going to continue to feed here as long as there is food in the water.
And there's no limit to what he's going to do. I mean, we've already had 3 incidents. 2 people killed inside of a week, and it's going to happen again. It happened before. The Jersey Beach.
1916, there were 5
people chewed up in the surf.
In 1 week.
Tell them about the swimmers.
A shark is attracted to the exact kind of splashing and activity that occurs whenever human beings go in swimming. You cannot avoid it.
If you open the beaches on the 4th of July, it's like ringing the dinner bell, for Christ's sake.
Look, Mr. Vaughn, I pulled a tooth the size of a shot glass out of the wrecked hull of a boat out there, and it was the tooth of a great white.
It was Ben Gardner's boat. It was all chewed up. I helped tow it in. You should have seen him.
Where is that tooth? Did you see it, Brody?
No, I didn't see it. He dropped it.
I had an accident.
On the way in.
And what did you say the name of this shark is?
It's a Carcharodon carcharius. It's a great white.
But you don't have the tooth. Look, we depend on the summer people here for our very lives.
You are not going
and
to have
if
a
you
summer
close those
unless you
beaches,
deal
we're
with this
finished.
problem.
We're not only going to have to close the beach, we're going to have to hire somebody to kill the shark. I mean, we're going to have to tell the Coast Guard.
Mr. Vaughn,
we're
you
going to
have to
get shark
contact the
repellent.
shark
We're going to have to put
research
extra
panel.
deputies on because
You
every
have to
nut in
ring
the
this
world is going to
entire
come in here.
harbor.
We
I don't
spend
think
money
either
they
one
don't
of you
get.
are familiar with our problems.
I think that I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
JAWGUST is back once again. Jaws is 50, so I thought, my friends, for you to come with me as I go back to Amity. A 31-day podcast, talking 4 minutes of Jaws each day. It will be another month-long show for me, and I hope to see you there, 'cause JAWGUST is back again.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's Wednesday, JAWGUST 13th, which means it's the 13th day of JAWGUST, which means it's the 13th day of Golden JAWGUST, which means for the 13th day in a row, I am here talking 4 minutes of Jaws to you. And today, we talk minutes 52 to 56. We get another victim. We get what we hope is enough evidence to close the beaches, but I don't think that's going to happen. No. There's a lot of dialogue in this, most of it in the second half of the 4 minutes, but the first half picks up right where we left off last time. That's kind of how it works every time, where we see Ben Gardner's boat, and Hooper really wants to go in and check something. And I don't really know why. It's never explained, unless what he almost got was what he was looking for. He never really talked about why he was down there in the first place. All I know is, can you imagine being in a theater in 1975 and seeing this movie? You've already seen a young woman get pulled under violently. You've seen a young boy get demolished, beachside. And now you get this brash young hippie of a shark expert, rich dude, who decides, oh, there's a boat out there. We're right in the area where he's feeding. Let me go into the water. I can only imagine sitting in the theater, people yelling, "Oh God, no, no, no!" Because you're going into the ocean, not at the beach, not like it, 3 feet standing on the coast. You're going right where, not only out in the deep ocean where you said the stretch where he's been feeding, but you're going to a disabled boat that, I mean, let's be honest, there's only one reason why this boat should be demolished like this. Well, but at the same time, they're thinking, well, there's a boat out here that the shark didn't do anything to this boat, did it? And yet, when the light is being shined onto the boat, we see a good chunk of this boat, like a nice kind of chunk ripped out of it. It doesn't have, quote unquote, teeth marks on this bite, but give me what else out there could do what this thing could do to this boat, what we're seeing. Now, I forgot to mention this yesterday. They're on a boat, they're going along, and Hooper, he's in his dungaree, experience, which he looks great in. But I love that Brody is wearing the life preserver. Now, yes, safety first, and maybe Hooper is one of those sticklers to, hey, you're not used to the water, why don't you put this on? But I don't think so. He let him bring a full bottle of white wine, so I don't think he's that worried about it. So that's the thing. They're at the shore. They're at the docks already. They went there hoping to cut open the tiger shark and unfortunately see the evidence that shows that that was the shark. They didn't get that. They didn't go back home. They went immediately to the boat. So that tells me that Brody brought the full bottle of white wine with him the entire time, with the full idea of drinking from it. He was probably hoping to celebrate. We see bodies, hooray! It's all over. But he brought it with him, and he definitely was lit up. When in the previous 4 minutes, when he's talking about in Amity, one man can make a difference. Now that's not what he sounds like, but he's playing buzzed. But the moment they see this boat, he is stone sober. And he's like, "Can't we just tow it in? Let me just," he does not want Hooper to jump in. And can you blame him? I can only imagine. Again, I said this, the theater. I would imagine people gasping, "Oh my God, why would you go in there?" That's crazy. And guess what? It kind of is crazy. There's nothing that we all know that he doesn't get eaten and he doesn't get attacked by the shark here. But it is kind of maddening, or it's kind of madness that he would take this approach. He jumps into the water, and I like that Brody's like, "What am I supposed to do?" He's like, he gives him the light. He goes, "Touch nothing. Don't touch anything. I'll be back in 2 minutes." Now, we all know in Amity, 24 hours is like 3 weeks. So I tried to do the math. I don't know if I did it right. So in 24 hours, there are 1,440 minutes in a day. To get down to 2 minutes, which is how long Brody is gone, you have to divide it by 720. In 3 weeks, which is what that woman claimed, 24 hours is like 3 weeks, there are 30,240 minutes. So I think if I take that 30,240 minutes and divide it by 720, I get the answer of 42. So I believe that is the answer. If Hooper's under the water for 2 minutes, it's going to feel like 42 minutes to Brody. And I think I did the math right, because as the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy said, the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. So the fact that I came to that from my calculations is telling me I'm on the right path, and this is going to feel like forever for Brody. For Hooper, it feels exactly like 2 minutes, because he is down there very quickly, and he's looking around. By the way, I love the view the shots of these like underwater here. It looks so good. He comes across this hull with a big giant hole in it, and what is in that hole but a shark tooth, which he takes out. And then what happens, he shines the light on it, and we all see, oh, that is one giant tooth. He's probably like, oh my God, this is one of the biggest teeth I've ever seen. I almost said tooths. And he starts looking around with at first, right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, the shark's coming, the shark's coming. People must be thinking the shark is coming, but the shark does not come. Instead, we get yikes. We get what has to be the biggest jump scare in all of Jaws. Everything else is scary and like, oh my God, the anticipation, and it's frightening. But jump scare, monster scare, like classic horror movie, that Ben Gardner scene is easily the jump scare of the movie. Even, I mean, right down to the Hitchcockian music score, that music punch right there, the needle drop, whatever you want to call it. It is just a perfect way to scare the hell out of the audience. I am sure that it did that back in 1975, and I'm sure that it's doing that today to people seeing Jaws for the first time. In fact, there is an article that I'm going to put a link to in the show notes. Says 47 hilarious reactions to Ben Gardner head scene in Jaws. This is from, of course, the Daily Jaws. I've referenced them multiple times. An incredible Jaws resource. This is from April 8th, 2024. It references a video, a YouTube video, that is talking about the 47 reactions, and it has a link to that video in the article. But I didn't really look for the article for this like reaction video. I didn't want to, like, that wasn't the point. The point is I wanted to get a little bit of background on the scene. I wanted to make sure I get it right, because I knew that this scene was a little different and it wasn't shot out in the open ocean. The article talks, gives some little background about Ben Gardner, shows him on his boat, shows the shot of Hooper and Brody looking at the wreckage from Hooper's boat. And it has a cool behind the scenes photo of, I think, the visual effects crew member. At least that's who I think it is. Kevin Pike. He's actually the person who pushed the head through the hole. And there's a picture of him holding the head, like it looks like in a special effects studio. I'm assuming that's who I'm seeing here. But what's cool about this is that the scene was shot in the swimming pool of Jaws editor Verna Fields. And to give the illusion of seawater, the pool was filled with carnation milk. Carnation instant breakfast, isn't that like powdered milk? And they put that in to give it the cloudy look. There's actually an image of the swimming pool that it was shot in. The article also says, ironically, the biggest fright in Jaws was an afterthought by its director, Steven Spielberg. During the initial test screening, Spielberg noted that the first startling appearance of the shark elicited the most significant screams from the audience. However, upon reshooting the scene at Ben Gardner's boat, the sudden appearance of Ben Gardner's head provoked the loudest scream, while the shark's appearance garnered only half that reaction it previously had. Spielberg remarked that this experience taught him a valuable lesson. A movie should feature only one major scare moment, as subsequent scares may leave the audience too guarded to fully engage with the film. So what they're saying here is that originally this scene wasn't in it, or it wasn't this jump screen. I don't know what it was originally, but the first real, oh my God, jump scare was when, the shark stuck its head out of the water. But because of this, when they shot this, people freaked out so much that I guess it didn't make them freak out as much later because they were already nervous. That's, I guess, two very different things. This is a jump scare like, oh my God, where that is like a frightening, like, oh no, because nothing happens. The shark doesn't, like this head, we realize, oh my God, someone's been killed. Even though it seems like nobody cares. With the shark, it's like, oh no, they're in deep doo-doo. So the head pops out. Hooper freaks out and drops the knife and the tooth and jumps up. And I always loved the green glow of the water that the lights from Hooper's boat provide. I don't know why. Maybe it's from just growing up and like I love swimming so much and swimming at night and putting lights on in my friends' pools growing up. I don't know, or my wife's pool when we were dating. But it just, I like the look of the water here when Hooper's getting out. I can't explain it why. I just don't know why. But what I don't get is Brody runs over. He swims over. First of all, he's probably shitting his pants because he thinks the sharks might be nearby. And he just gets up and he looks. He stops. He doesn't climb out of the water. I'd be pulling myself. I'd be like, get me out of this water, Chief. He doesn't pull himself up at all. He like catches his breath while sitting there and looks up at Brody like, you know what I mean? Like no exchange, no talking. Really, the moment there was a good solid over a minute of no discussion at all. Once Hooper went in the water, there was no other talking in this scene. The talking didn't pick up until we jump to the following day, or I'm going to guess later on in the day, because I'm going to guess this is past midnight, but who knows, where Hooper and Brody are talking to that son of a bee, Mayor Larry Vaughn. That's the clip that I played at the beginning of this episode with Brody saying, "This is a great white, Larry, a big one. And any shark expert in the whole world will tell you it's a killer. It's a man-eater." And Hooper's like, look, the situation, it's apparently a great white shark, has staked a claim in the waters off Amity Island, and he's going to continue to feed here as long as there is food in the water. They're trying to explain it. And what I love here, first of all, I love that this entire moment, and it goes on longer, but in this segment, it's one take. It's just one long take. They're walking up the dunes, and Larry is just like, he's listening. He's listening. They are really doing their best to explain and exclaim how like dangerous this is. And Larry's just, sucking on that cigarette, looking at him with this puss on his face. And he's listening. But, and then they talk about, what did you say this, what did you name this shark? It's I wrote it down. A Carcharodon carcharias. I love that. That is one of my favorite lines in the whole movie. It's Carcharodon carcharias. Of course. It's a great white. And then Vaughn's like, but you don't have the tooth. If I was Hooper, I said, no, we don't have the tooth, but we have Ben Gardner's friggin' head. Here, look. I guess you could say he had a boat accident and he went under and he died in the boat. Like, there was no other evidence except that one tooth that the shark attacked. So did the shark eat Ben Gardner, or did he mess up his boat so much that Ben Gardner drowned in the accident? Hiding from the shark or what? Brody does say, it's Ben Gardner's boat. It was all chewed up. I helped tow it in. Like, okay, what are you getting credit for that? I want credit for that. I helped tow it in. I did. He's like, you should have seen him. At first I thought he was saying you should have seen it, but I'm pretty sure he says you should have seen him. You should have seen Ben Gardner. He was eaten by a shark. I mean, isn't that what we think happened? Because I feel like if you saw Ben Gardner all chewed up, there is the evidence you need. The fact that Ben Gardner is dead and the boat was all messed up, that is the evidence you need. The tooth, okay, the tooth is just the cherry on top. But I feel like you have enough evidence here to definitely close the beaches now. Now think of this. There is another victim. We're not there yet. We will get there soon. But there is another victim coming in a few days. Now, Mrs. Kintner, I'm not going to talk about the sequels, but Mrs. Kintner, we can assume, remains living on Amity. She should own every business. She should own Vaughn Realty. The lawsuit alone for the fact that you knew about this, but you didn't do anything, and now that's almost a wrongful death suit, okay? But then, after his death, to then have Ben Gardner's death and do nothing about it, then you've got that dude in the pond. Does he have any family? Because that family should be like, wait a second, a young girl died and you kept the beaches open, and then a young boy died and you closed the beaches for 24 hours, and then you found the body of another well-known fisherman and the boat was all chewed up and you still didn't close the beaches, and now my daddy's dead, or my uncle or my son or my husband is dead. Like all we have to bury is half a leg, and like that it's not, it is negligence. It is criminal negligence. There is, I often say, okay, the people of Amity deserve Larry Vaughn as their mayor, but the criminal negligence that he should not only be impeached or not revoted, not reelected, he should be behind bars for at least a sort of, for a good few years. This man should be found just criminally responsible. I'm not going to talk about the sequels, but that is a dumb decision that you could have said it with one line if you didn't want an actor to return to make people think it reminds them of another movie that they want to see. Oh, look, it has all the same people. It must be just as good. But I'm not going to say what movie that is, because that would be talking about sequels. And I told myself, who gives a shit? That one line, the fact that they have to have Murray Hamilton back to have at least a good amount of returning actors is so stupid that they could have just said, sorry, Murray, it doesn't make sense for you to be reelected. You should have been fired. Or maybe you visit him and he's down and out and he's destitute because of what happened. Instead, this is so, oh my God, I never realized how annoying that is. Like, it's a joke, like, hey, you think about this. The mayor of Jaws got reelected in Jaws 2. He's back as still the mayor. You could have had the actor back and done it in such a better way than what you did. I'm sorry, Chris. I have to bring it up because of Ben Gardner alone. Yes, all the other things, but the fact that we have another dead body and he's still ignoring it just shows to me that the book, Jaws, the book, talks about him having ties to the mob. I think this is worse than any organized crime that he could have ties to. It is appalling. And the fact that he ignores it so much that Hooper loses his cool because Larry Vaughn is ignoring this particular problem until it swims up and bites him on his ass. Now, I admit maybe Hooper could have handled it a little better, but he tells him, look, there's only two things we can do here. We either need to kill this animal or cut off its food supply. And the only thing, and like the look on Vaughn's face, like he's like smiling like, oh, you don't get it. And all he cares about is the beautiful welcome, Amity Island welcomes you billboard has been defaced, where someone drew a big giant shark fin and big googly eyes on the woman and a mouth open, and it says help shark, which is the much more memorable version of this billboard, which is why I made it today's image that goes with the episode. I almost was going to do Hooper like him, like frightened with the mask on, but to me, this is the shot. This is one of the most famous like shots or signs, I guess you could say, in Jaws. If you hung this up, people know exactly what it is, what it's from. And I'm sure there are posters and signs made replicating this billboard. Not the original billboard. I mean, that's a nice billboard, but this one is just so much better. So as much as they're trying to get through to this, I guess, really despicable man, the more I watch this, the more I realize he's the villain of the movie. The shark's just sharking. That's what it does. It's the people. And most notably, the mayor that is the true villain of Jaws. And we don't get much more of him. We get a couple, I think today's the 13th. I think by the 17th, that's the last time we see the mayor. If I calculated my calculations calculatedly, I think I did. But you don't forget that the whole entire second half of Jaws, I'm not going to say could have been avoided. I'm saying could have happened much sooner with much less bloodshed if Larry only listened. And I think that's it. I think I nailed it, or at least I did it. I know that happened. It is almost 11 o'clock, so I need to get this episode out to you as soon as possible. I had to take a little break to take my dog out because we had thunderstorms tonight, and she does not handle thunderstorms well. It was loud. It sounded like, thunder was like right outside my window. I've been thunderstruck, and it bangs, and she like jumps, but even without her jumping, like she gets the shakes with thunder or with fireworks, like trembling. We have medicine that helps with that, but we did not give it to her. We did not know this thunderstorm was happening, and that led to her not going for a walk until about 10:15. So there was a moment in the episode, hopefully you don't quite hear the time difference or the editing, where I left for a good 5 minutes to take her out, and she was very happy to do her business and be done with it. But the rest of the day was pretty good. The reason I didn't do the show until tonight is because I went to the beach today, but not the ocean. It was Lake Winnipesaukee. There's a place called Wares Beach. Where's the Wares Beach? It is in Laconia, New Hampshire. My mother-in-law used to live there, so we'd go up there all the time. But I think in the 20 years that she was living up there, we did not go to Wares Beach once. We didn't have to, because where she lived, you had your own little beach that you could go to, right off of Lake Winnipesaukee. But it was in like a bay area. So this is our first time actually sitting down and actually going in the water. It was great. It was a lake though, so there was no chance of a shark or a Carcharodon carcarius, a great white, coming up and biting me on the ass. But you're in the water, you can't help but think there could be something out there. I think I was in the most 3 feet of water, but I mean, shark attacks happen, in 3 feet of water, 50 feet from the shore. I don't know if I have that quote right, but you know what happened. You know what I'm talking about. But Friday, I might be going to an actual beach with actual ocean, with the chance of possibly being eaten by a shark. The chance is there. If it happens, I hope that it's not. I hope that A, I'm recording, and B, I don't get fully eaten so that I have a chance to post it. That would bring in the numbers. And that's really what it's all about, getting them clicks, right? Nah. I'm just glad you're here. And my dog is moving around. Does she need to go out again? Listen, girl, I need to get this show up, okay? I'm already like an hour behind, and Mike Batts is like freaking out. It's 10 o'clock. He's refreshing Spotify. We need to get this episode up. And then if you need to go out again, I'll do that. So that's what I'm going to do now. I am going to head out of here right now and get this show up to you. But in the meantime, go to follow me on all the socials at Geek Mentality. And if you go to my Blue Sky account, Geek Mentality on Blue Sky, you'll see that my wife and I went to a thrift store today, and there was this big fancy massage chair. And there was a picture on it. I go, what is this of? It is a picture of John Davidson, the former host of Hollywood Squares, and a signed note telling you that this used to be my chair. You might know me from television in Las Vegas, and he lives in the area, and this was his chair. The chair of the man who hosted Hollywood Squares during the Jim J. Bullock, Joan Rivers years. It was on sale at this thrift store. I didn't buy it. I had no use for it. But I took pictures of it and I put it on my Blue Sky account, Geek Mentality. I don't know why. I wanted to share that. That was part of my day. I started my day driving to New Hampshire, going to the beach, seeing this fancy chair at a thrift store, and eating at this restaurant called the Town Docks. And I end my day talking Jaws to you. So follow me everywhere at Geek Mentality, except Twitter, which is Geek Mentality Mike. Our Facebook page is Fans.Experts. Our YouTube channel is Fans.Experts. That's because the website is fans.experts.com. Go there to see every episode of every podcast I do. My dog is still stirring. So it is now 11 p.m. I need to get her out. I'm going to go do that now, but I'm going to get the show up first. So listen, honey baby, just wait a few minutes. I'm going to get the show on the road, and then we can go do whatever you want. I will see you tomorrow. I have tomorrow off too, but I think I'm doing something. I don't know. It's probably going to be out, tomorrow night as usual. But don't worry, it will be. Oh, I don't know if you heard that dog crying. She's ready to go out. So I will see you tomorrow. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And the beaches are closed, right? I almost forgot to say that. Now, here is my theme song.
This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans not experts.